Okay, let's get started. This is the first in a series of videos that I shall be uploading reviewing Age of Empires 2 HD, the African Kingdoms expansion. One of the things you'll notice as soon as you play this, if you've plunged straight into buying this when you've seen it advertised and you've previously only played the Conquest expansion, is that all the hotkeys that you knew off by heart from playing online or playing against computers have all changed. So I've had a very frustrating experience first off actually having to change each hotkey because they've literally changed. I don't think there's any hotkey they didn't change around. I don't see the rationale behind it. I had a bit of a frustrating time thinking I'd change them all and having to go back and change them. You forget how many hotkeys there are. I'm playing this game 1v1v1. I'm playing as the Berbers against the Malians and the Ethiopians. I'm playing on the hardest setting to test out the AI. Now we all know that in the previous version by Assemble Studios, the original Conquest expansion, when the computer was on hardest, it did cheat and it gave itself 1,000 of each resource. I'm hoping that the developers of this expansion have decided to actually give the computer a game plan beyond using up the resources to try and do a quick enough attack and actually make them have a proper economy build up. One of the best things about the Age of Empires communities is that they have always had very good custom AIs. Okay, so I am 1v1v1 and I am a bit out of practice, so try not to be too harsh judging my economy build up, as I used to play online a lot, but you know, life gets in the way. But I'm actually getting back into gaming a lot now, so as the videos go along you'll actually see me actually cut out all the small silly mistakes, and I will reveal the map for the sake of not cheating, just so we can actually compare my base to the AI base so that we can actually see what their plans are. I'm hoping that they don't have the same format and build up, as in they both, because they're individual civilizations, they have different strategies for building up. That would be nice. And yeah, hopefully they're not just going to boom to the feudal, boom to the castle, both turn on me and attack me, and then if I repel them, have nothing to fall back on. Yeah, hopefully that won't happen anyway. That'll be quite the anticlimax to a brand new game. But yeah, after all these years, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't play the Forgotten Empires or the original H2 version that much, purely because I've been too busy playing ARA2 Conquest expansion online on Voobly with a pretty average record, win one for everyone to lose, so not the worst. But I'm a bit out of practice at the moment, so like I said earlier, forgive me any rookie mistakes I'm making here. Anyway, enough of me rambling about me. Let's talk about their weaknesses. The Berbers are very good up to Castle Age, but they are missing good late game towers and architecture. So there's a lot of little things you can't research for make buildings slightly weaker, and they're missing bombard cannons and heavy scorpions. So if you're in a tight game, if you're playing Black Forest or something, I know bombard cannons are the scourge of tight spaces and scorpions are the scourge of infantry. So yeah, it's a bit of a bummer if you're at the phase where your enemy has managed to withstand your attacks and have superior units and superior siege weapons. The one thing I haven't, or probably won't make a video about, is naval units. I've never been one to play naval games, and they're not particularly popular online anyway. A lot of people like naval games with seas. Well, fishing boats are a great source of food if you have little areas of water in the map, and you put your dock and you have several. It takes up a lot less space than farms and is just as productive. but maybe naval games might be more interesting with the differences that have been put into this game, but still not something I'm interested in. Still have the same strategy, have a nice hunting ground, so both those boars will help me advance as quick as I can to the feudal age. I'm lagging behind score wise. That's either because the computer's cheating and gave itself more resources, or because I'm just not that good right now. And yeah, that was silly of me. Should have got that ball closer to the mill. What are you going to do? There is another very interesting addition to this game, which either you'll think it's great or you'll think it's the most annoying thing in the world. Siege towers. You come up against an annoying stone wall. You think you might be able to build a couple of layers. Other person builds siege towers. Their units can actually travel across it, apparently. Which, to be fair, only makes sense. And here is a quick look at the enemy's bases. They've already got a couple of farms, going for a slightly different tactic to me. I usually build farms as I'm advancing. Make the most of the hunting. It depends on your strategy. I usually leave the berries alone, so they're a bit slower, but if I'm not had a particularly good hunting ground, then I will use the berries. And yes, I hopefully should be advancing soon. Red is the Malians, blue is the Ethiopians, and I'm just going to put one unit there to get some gold while I advance. Well, 3, 2, 1, going feudal. 10 minutes. That's slow by online standards, but as regards a game with AI, considering I'm out of practice, it will do. One thing I will say about those siege towers, which I actually should have said, is that it's actually not available multiplayer. It's only for scenarios. So if you're playing custom scenarios online, or whatever form of game you're playing, that's a scenario. It's only available in the scenario editor. Originally, apparently it was planned for Civilizations, but they took it out. Could have been a big game changer online, especially, but for whatever reason decided not to. And as you can see, the economy build-up is looking quite good for both the enemies there, actually. Let's have a quick look at the civs here. 10% faster villagers I've got. I don't get halberdiers, which is really annoying for late on game as well, considering that I don't have great artillery either, and at least halberdiers would be able to give me something that's really good anti-cavalry, but I don't have it. At least I'll have champions, and I can have hand cannoneers, so there's some form of strategy for when gold starts to get low if I want to pump units. Nevertheless, it is rather annoying not having halberdiers. So far, the AI is actually looking rather good, and not like it's actually just gonna have a ridiculous quick build up and spend all its resources. It's actually looking like it's possibly not even cheating, actually, and it's actually just building up an economy according to a set plan. So I will try and just build myself a nice little cordoned off space here. It's always good to have a cordoned off space, big enough so that my farms will be away from any archer fire, and I'll just cover that off with a market, build a blacksmith as well, and once that's done I'll get them back to collecting resources. But those are my 2 buildings done for my advancing to the castle age. Here's the blue's base. Already he has begun working on military. Red not so much. Red looks a lot more focused on economy. But the blue, who is the Ethiopians, has begun working on a military build-up. So after 2, he's more likely to start a rush. Anyway, back to my civ, the Berbers. The 2 unique technologies they have a Kasbah, which is a team benefit, a technology that increases the training speed of castles for 25% for the entire team, which is extremely handy in a game where you're at a point where you're all pumping soldiers non-stop, especially if you have the resources and you have several castles. It's often the difference between pushing a foe back and being pushed back yourself. And the other unique technology is the Maghrabi camels, which is what causes the camels to regenerate hit points, which is a great benefit. Just gonna make sure I'm completely walled off there. Anyway, as regards my enemies, the Malians, who's the red player, they have 2 unique technologies. One's called Tigoi, or Tigui, whatever way you want to pronounce it. It's a technology unique to the Malians. It lets Malian town centers fire arrows at nearby enemy units, allowing it to participate in base defense when the player is raided by an opponent. So you do not have to have anybody in the town center for it to fire on enemies, which again is quite useful, especially for if you have a situation where you're busy fighting someone and you don't notice that a couple of units have got through, you don't have to ring the town bell because the town centre will start actually firing on them anyway. And its other unique technology is Farimba, which gives +5 attack to stable units, and it can be researched in the Imperial Age. I almost said Castle Age there. You think that's an amazing +5 attack, but the Malians do not get paladins, hussars, and blast furnace. So they do have a very powerful cavalry, but they have a very good attack for their cavalry, basically, but they don't have the most powerful cavalry. I've built an archery range and a barracks there, just because blue player, if he comes for me, I need to have something. And he looks like he's built up quite a nice little nexus of buildings all around the town centre. Concentrate there, and my base, to be fair, is probably a bit too spaced apart, but he's got a lot of military buildings and military units already. Red has none so far. Obviously, they both actually do have distinct strategies as regards booming or coming to the Castle Age, which will make this game very interesting. And there's a good sign that the developers have worked high on the artificial intelligence for this game. So that's the Malians, the unique technologies, and according to what I'm reading, if you want to play as them, they're one of the most versatile civilizations. Strong economic bonuses and well-rounded technology tree. Yeah, buildings are cheaper, which is also very good as they're upgrading. They get free gold mining upgrades, so it's more efficient gold mining. Increased pierce armor when they advance in age, so archers are a lot less efficient against them. They have full archer and infantry upgrades, and they have a team bonus that makes the university research technologies 80% faster and have access to a mostly full university and building upgrades, which allows the Malians and any of their allies to gain technologies such as chemistry, ballistics, and murder holes sooner than their opponents. Which, as we know, Age of Empires is all about the speed of advancing and the economy to back it up. So that's quite the advantage. Anyway, I've gone Castle Age now, and blue has not. I Can't remember if Red had, but he's not got military anyway, so I'm not worried about that. So I'm just going to try and build 2 town centres straight away, and I'm low on actual wood there, so I will buy some wood in a moment. Maybe sell a bit of stone and a bit of food, and buy the wood to make another town centre straight away. My resource management up to this point has not been great. You shouldn't be at the point where you're selling resources to get other resources. It's just a lack of practice. Next time I'll be better. Anyway, back to the Malians. The unique unit is very similar. Well, to me, immediately thought of Frankish throwing axemen. It's a ranged infantry unit that throws. I'm not sure what is they throw, little spears, but yeah. They have a slow rate of attack, but they have pretty effective attack when it does hit, which makes it with a slow rate. And they're pretty fast to move as well. So hit and run tactics against slower infantry units, perfect. And they're very effective against champions and the very slow Teutonic Knights, Kamyuks and Spearmen. However, if a group of Teutonic Knights managed to corner them, they would be screwed. And so far, they have one massive weakness, which is that they're outranged by pretty much any other archer, hand cannoneer, cavalry archers. Which is understandable. They're throwing short spears. It's kind of like the Frankish throwing axemen. You've got to protect them in order for them to be effective. Get a good solid group of them. Get some infantry, strong infantry to protect them, or maybe some cavalry. If you're playing a game of Black Forest and you have several of them at a point where there's just infantry, loads of players are pumping infantry into a position, they will be absolutely devastating. But if it's on a more open map, say Green Arabia like I'm playing now, and they're not so well protected, their group of knights will destroy them very easily. I'm going to sell some more resources, make some more villagers, and make some more of my grabbies. Sorry, not my grabbies, my genitor, however you want to say it. One of my 2 unique units is the Berbers. It's basically a mounted skirmisher, which is I'm very surprised that Age of Empires never had a mounted skirmisher in the first place. As in medieval warfare, they were quite popular, especially if you're talking about the Irish. And one of the main things they used to do, because they had a smaller version of a horse than the English horse. The gentry used to have the smaller horses. They used to have small shield and throwing spears, and that was the tactic, and it was quite effective, except on an open battlefield. But when it came to other battlegrounds, it was very successful, and as such I'm surprised that it took until now to actually have a mounted skirmisher. Okay, we've talked about the Malians. Let us talk about the Ethiopians. Now, unique units. Shotel Warrior has a very, very good attack. You're talking one of the most effective attack units possibly in the game. Armor, poor to negligible, but attack wise, fantastic. They have a pretty low cost to build. 50 food, 35 gold for a unique unit at castle is not the worst. But I wouldn't say that they'd hold up well against the heavier units. If you're talking against like cavalry or maybe archers, if they get close, yeah, they wouldn't do very well. However, they produce near instantly, so if you need a unit that's going to fill a hole and you have a couple of castles again, keep building them. One thing I will say about this game so far is that the architecture is fantastic. I didn't realise how bored I had got of all the civilizations that were in Age of Empires and their buildings before the HT version came out. Again, it's another surprising thing. It wasn't the flaw that I thought before, but then I realised it was that there wasn't enough variety in building previously in the Age of Empires series, and each civilization has its own very unique architecture, and it makes it aesthetically a lot more pleasing. We all remember Age of Empires 2 Conquest Expansion. You look at my town centres, the Byzantines, the Saracens, and then the other Europeans. There's very, very little difference, except for maybe the eastern civilizations had slightly different architecture, but the Japanese, the Koreans, Chinese, all of the same architecture, and the Persians and the Byzantines shared a lot as well. It wasn't as individually unique. It was like, it was different, but the only main European one which I've viewed as very different was possibly the Vikings. Oh, we have a battle. And here we have Red, who built up a lot of military pretty quick there, because Blue had a very strong military, as we all saw. I'm going to build up some men and have a quick attack. Well, build up enough men and see who's the weakest and then attack. Pull a few more archery range and build a bit of a military base out here outside of my memory base. So if an attack does come, I'll then have to go through my military buildings first and then go for my economy, which, to be fair, at the moment is not the strongest. But like I said, this is just a review game, so it's nothing serious. It's just me playing an average game. Anyway, back to the Ethiopians. Showtail Warrior. Yes, that was one of the... We've discussed the Showtail Warrior. Best used for raiding if the enemy doesn't have many units. And then there's two technologies. Torsion engines is a technology that increases the blast radius of Ethiopian Mangonel, Scorpions, bombard cannons, and under the right circumstances, certain variants of the battering ram. So, siege-wise, Ethiopians are going to kick ass. And then there's that other unique technology, which is Royal Heirs. Technology provides a handy creation speed boost to already rapidly deployed Ethiopian unique unit to Showtail Warrior. So it already produced very fast. Now it just makes it produce near instantly. So think of Viking champions, post-Imperial Age, but faster production. And red is doing a bit of an attack on blue now. Seems to have not be as relentless in his counter attack. Maybe a bit more cautious, which is always a good thing. Don't want to overextend yourself. And I'll build a few of my unique units and see how effective they are. And another great thing about the Ethiopians is archers fire 15% faster. And they get a boost of 100 gold, 100 food when advanced in age, and pikemen and halberdier upgrades are free. Also, towers and outposts have +3 line of sight, but that's, well, that's not important to me, really. Okay, let's build a military base in the middle of the map. Bring what men I have to the middle of the map and test out the computer's resistance to an actual assault. Hopefully blue and red have weakened each other a little bit, so I will be able to actually catch him slightly off guard. Like I said, this is because it's just I'm not taking this game that serious. My economy at the moment, yeah, it could be a lot better. I should have around 15 to 20 more farms as it is, and probably another 30 to 40 villagers. But I just want to test out certain things in the games, such as combat and assaulting the enemy's base and seeing how well he does. And that's annoying, everyone going as slow as the siege round goes. Divide them into different teams, have my camels, my mounted skirmishers. Red's army is not back there yet. Base looks safe enough. Build a few more villagers. Try and get the economy up to the same level as the others. Score wise, they are way ahead of me, possibly due to the fact that they've been killing each other getting points, but also I think their economies, to be fair, are also better, which says a lot again about their artificial intelligence and that it's been programmed very well. And to be fair, it probably, if you're going by online standards, the artificial intelligence, at least its economy and build up, seems to be as fast as you'd expect most middle to good players to be online. They haven't rushed anyone. Well, blue in particular, I'm a bit disappointed about blue with his very large army very early on did not attempt to attack red or me. So that's an odd one, unless it was a defensive plan that the computer was going for and thought that he needed to have a lot of defensive units. So let's just have a little attack here and see how red does in trying to repel it. I will pump a few units here. I'll probably get repelled, but it's always interesting to see the level of reaction. Blue's not doing that great right now, actually. Yeah, let's just upgrade some units. Like I said, there is such a handicap later on in the match not having light halberdiers, because if you're pumping units, you get to the stage where you're just pumping units into space. If you're running out of different resources, it is pivotal that you have the best cheap units you can have, because otherwise you're just gonna lose. And it's not looking good for my attack, actually. I think they're doing pretty alright, actually. I'll build a few more buildings. So far, response to the attack is pretty decent. My units seem pretty decent as well. Ooh. And that is very effective. Again, the unique unit. Pretty fast moving. Very poor armor, but very strong attack. And he's got a good group of them together, and it is just swept through the group of men I had there. And to be fair, I had camels there, I had my mounted skirmishers there. He's got a big group quick, and yeah, you're just coming through the buildings. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for this review. So far, I'm pretty impressed by the AI. There's some tweaks, obviously, and there's some custom AI that will be available, but the architecture and the build-up has been very impressive. The new units look pretty good as well. Unique technologies and team bonuses as well. I'm very impressed with that. Like I said, mounted skirmisher. It was about time. I'm Richard. Thanks for watching this review, and look out for the next few videos that I release on Age of Empires 2, The African Kingdoms.